So I got some ants trying to get into my tea. Yay, they didn't make it. That was close. I just got to make sure real quick. Hold on. Okay. Baruch Hashem. So you guys know that teaching when Yeshua says to the Shammaites, he says, you strain at the gnat and swallow the camel. Right? You know this teaching? And of course our Christian brothers and sisters, they always focus on the main metaphor. You're focusing on something really insignificant, and because you're focusing on that, you let the large thing happen, right? The worst thing happen. And that's good. But what I think people usually miss from the cultural significance is camel's not kosher. So Yeshua is saying you're straining not to eat a bug, which is not kosher, and instead you eat a giant not kosher animal, the camel. So anyway, if anybody wants to take that back and share that, feel free. Because it seems like people miss that. Everybody's in on the main metaphor, right? What he's talking about. They're in on the fact that he's saying you strain that, you're looking at something so small, and then you miss the big thing because of it, right? But in the end, he's using an example of a treif animal, an unkosher animal. He didn't say the cow, you swallow the cow, right? You swallow the camel. The point is you're sinning. You're trying not to sin by swallowing a little thing that's not clean, and instead you sin by swallowing a giant unclean thing. And then he goes on to say, it would be best to do the big things and also not leave the little things undone. In other words, don't swallow gnats either. So anyway, it's just looking for ants in my tea, making sure it's okay. Let's see. Shalom. Shalom. So glad you all are here. I've got something special for you tonight. I got it figured out. We're going to be using color pens on stuff. Woohoo! So always room for improvement, but I think you guys will like it. Shalom, Vicky, Tet, Mentat Assassin, Hermes Alami, Gary, Brenda, Pay. Oh, you made it. You changed it so it's all right. You weren't blank. I always saw your Hebrew Peh before, but it did make it a little difficult to tag you, to do the at, and then I have to switch keyboard, Alt-Shift to Hebrew, and then type the letter Peh. Alt-Shift, shift to other languages, shift, get back to English. So that's nice. I'm glad you changed it to P-E-H in English, with Latin letters. Shalom, Jeff. Let's see. Scrolling. Shalom, Pereira. Glad you're here, Achi. Hey, I sent you a message on Telegram today. I don't know if you got it or not. I haven't checked in a couple hours my Telegram, so... We have a rule at dinner, no devices, so I didn't have my device, and then I just kind of... Shalom, Rayaveth. Shalom, Huzik River Ben. Binyamin. Shalom Aleichem. Gam Shalom Lecha. Shalom Yakar. Kenneth. Shalom from Texas. All right. I love Texas. Lived there for a few years. Shalom Manju. Julie. Michael. Betty. Ink 961. Shalom. Shalom Felisa. All right, yeah, it's not easy, right? When you mix the languages, you got to change. That's true. Change to a different typeset. Okay, not bad turnout. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So what we're going to do tonight, right before I went live, I was thinking, what psalm should we do for the opening prayer? And I remembered one of you requested a couple of weeks back that we do Psalm 23. And so I thought, okay, just now that I remembered that. I thought, let's do Psalm 23. I almost did Psalm 1. Let's do 23. So we're going to make Psalm 23 our opening prayer. I won't go into it deeply. This is not Psalms night. And then we're going to switch over to the graphic novel for tonight. I know Betty was asking about that yesterday. Tonight we do have pictures, so it's worthwhile, right? And that's where I'll use the colored pens and stuff, so for marking up the parts of speech that are interesting and whatever you guys might have questions about. Is the volume okay? How's the volume? You guys hearing me okay? Ah, Earl Grey. You know, I was having a tea earlier tonight from Israel. Some friends gave me for Hanukkah, and it's called Shalva tea. Really neat, of course, all organic and all that nice stuff. And it's kind of cool. I was reading on the box that the employees who make the tea and do the packaging and stuff are all handy enabled. So I thought that was kind of cool. They actually are giving people jobs, maybe can't walk or something like that, or maybe can't see or something. So great. So, and it's funny because I was talking with Pereira at our Hanukkah party, and he was telling me some stuff from his life, and it brought up the Hebrew word I shared with him, shalva. Shalva. So this might be a good word for you guys to learn too. Shalva. The first part is like shalom, shal, and then va, right, with a vav. So it would have been shalwa in ancient times, right? Shalwa, or maybe even sholwa. But this word, it means like, it captures the idea of when life, it's like contentment, or being at ease, bishalva, right? And it was interesting to me because, this word doesn't come up that often, but it fit the situation, the story he was telling me. So I shared with him shalva, and then later someone gave me shalva tea. Well, I don't know. I like those little, Mossad says there's no such thing as coincidences, right? So I like those little things there. So anyway, and it's very nice. It's very nice. Even Zarecha approved. Hey, Shalom Biblia, glad you made it. Dobre požalovat, brat. Okay, and Manju. Okay, great. Shalom Achi. Good, volume's good. All right, good. So let's do Psalm 23 as our opening prayer, and then we'll do the graphic novel stuff for our First Kings, our prophets immersion. Okay, so here we are. Kaf, that's 20, and Gimel is 3. Mizmor LeDavid, or LeDavid, or LeDavid. A Psalm of David. Yod He Wah-He Adonai Ra'i is my shepherd, the Roe of E. Lo, not Echsar. The Aleph is from I will not Chasar, I will not lack anything. Bino Deshe Yarbitzeini, to nice meadows, like a Nave is the singular of this Nave. I used to have a cat named Nave. He had one blue eye and one green eye, really cool. But it's like a nice abode. It's a pleasant meadow. It's a pleasant place to live based on nature. This is the plural of deshe, of like growing things. Yarbitzeni. Ravatz is when an animal puts their paws under them like that, right? Or their hooves. They're safe. Right? They're relaxing, crouching safely. They're not defensive. The yod means it's hifil. He causes to do that to me. Al me menuchot yinahaleni. By, near, not literally upon. Me is from mayim. Drop the mem. Me, waters of menuchot. So you might recognize Noach as the root here. Noach. Peacefulness, tranquilness, stillness. So still waters, tranquil waters. Again, it makes me think of Shalveh, what we're talking about. Yenahaleni. Nahal is one of the many words that can mean to lead, but it also makes you think of Nahal, a waterway. So it's kind of a double entendre. Yenahaleni. Yeah, he nahals me. Nafshi yeshovev. My nefesh, my life force, yeshovev, is restored. A polpel, rare form of the verb, if Dr. Dever is here. Yancheni v'ma'agle tzedek. This is the verb nacha, ending in a hey. This is where we get the word mincha, a gift that is carried. So nacha is to lead. Ya, he, the yod, it's not from the name, it's he, necha. Yanche, he leads, ni, me, ve'in ma'agalei. A ma'agal is a wagon wheel. So these are like wagon wheel tracks of tzedek, of justice or righteousness. And we're going kind of quickly because we're also praying. Yeah, we're also trying to keep kavanah as we go through here. But I want you to understand, le'ma'an, for the sake of shemo, his reputation, his fame, his name, the Shem of O. Gam ki elech begei tzalmavet lo irara ki ata imadi. Gam, even, ki, when or if. Elech, it's from halach. Halach, the aleph is I. Even if I will walk be'in gei tzalmavet, a valley of tzal. Tzal is a shadow. Mavet is very poetic. It's a superlative form meaning the most. But it's death. It means death. But the word death can mean most in a negative way. So the darkest shadow is what it's saying. Lo, not ira, will I yara, will I fear, ra, evil. Ki, because ata, you, emad, are with, me. Shiftecha, o misha'antecha, hema yenachamuni. The shevet of Cha is what that word is. Your scepter. Umisha'antecha. And the mishanet, it's a long rod that you can use to keep a sheep from going off a cliff, kind of direct him. That thing of Cha, of you. Hema, those things, yenachamuni. They nachum, they comfort. It's actually yenachamu. You can see the Masoret's added the u there because it wasn't in the text. They comfort me. Okay. Hema can also be behold. We learned from Ugaritic. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan. You arach. We've talked about arach, to set in order, like the shulchan aruch, right? The table that's in order, or the list of the commandments, or when the Ten Commandments say lema'an ta'arichun yamecha al hadama, so that your days will be ta'arich, lengthened, ta'arichun al hadama, upon the earth. So the tav is you. You, aroch, you arrange, you set in order. Ta'aroch, lefanai, in my presence or before me. Shulchan, a table. Neged, facing, like just opposite and facing. Tzorerai, my tzorers. A tzorer is the opposite of a shomer. A shomer, like the synagogue in Moscow, Shomer Israel. The shomer is a watchman, someone who shamars. And a tzorer is someone who watches for you to fail. They're hoping for you to fail. We do translate adversaries, but it's got this nuance. The tzorarim of I, of me, my tzorers. So they're watching. Dishanta v'shemen roshi. You dashan ta, you anoint v'shemen, with the shemen, with the oil, rosh, head of I, my head, kos, cup, of I, my cup, revaya. It's inundated. This term can mean inundated. It's overflowing. And this is why on Erev Shabbat, we fill the wine glass to the brim as you hold it, so some can spill out to remind us of this verse, Kosi Revaya, my cup overflows. My blessings are overflowing. Ach, tov v'chesed, yirdefuni kol yemei chayai, v'shavti bevet Adonai le'orech yamim. Ach, indeed, tov, good, or goodness, or good things. Va and chesed, and loving kindness, or it can mean grace, or familial loyalty, because we are the sons and the daughters of Israel. So the king is our God. He gives us chesed. Yirdefuni, radaf is to chase after, to pursue. Yirdefu, they pursue, they chase me. Kol, all. Yamei from Yamim, days, drop the mem, Yamei, days of Chayai. Chai is life, of I, of me, my life. Veshavti. And Yashav, to sit or to dwell, we drop the yod. Shavti, that's I. Veshavti, and I will dwell, I will live. Be, in Veit Adonai, the house of Adonai. le'orech. And here we have again that ta'aroch is what he's doing, and we are going to live there le'orech for lengthy yamim days. Sorry, I connected this one to for lengthy days. All right, and maybe just one more time. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai ro'i lo echsar, b'nodesh yirbitzeni al mei menuchot yenahaleni. Nafshi shovev, yancheni v'ma'agelei tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki elech begeit tzalmavet lo irara, ki ata imadi. Shiftecha u'mish'antecha hema yenachamuni. Ta'aroch lefanai shulchan, neged zorarai. Dishanta v'sheben roshi. Kosi revaya, ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai. V'shavti bevet Adonai le'orech yamim. Amen, amen. All right. Hey, shalom, Stephen. Shalom, Ani. Tet comments, the vineyard in the Judean Valley in Yad Hashmona also employs volunteers from all over the world. Oh, very nice. Shalom, shalom. Right over it says, I love how the rod is the scepter. Yeah. It's nice, yeah? Okay, so that was our opening prayer. And now for the interesting part. Let's see. Check this out. Okay, just need to... And... boom. Oh ho ho! What is this we have? So, we're reading in our graphic novel tonight the description of where you can purchase this, and I don't get royalties or anything, so I'm not plugging it to make money or something. I'm plugging it because the publisher deserves your money. You can get the link. It's a link to their website. It's in the description of this video. Okay, and we are reading from 1 Kings chapter 11, verses 21 through 25 tonight. Shalom, Trisha. No worries, no worries. That's good you were lighting the Hanukkah candles. Very important. That's great. I was just telling the story about my shalva tea anyway, so you didn't miss too much. Pereira says, Toda Rabba Achi, this was the favorite psalms of my beloved mother. Baruch Hashem. Hallelujah. May she rest in peace. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Glad to hear it. Pei says, I love story reading most. All right, let your inner child come out, and we're going to be doing the comic book, the graphic novel part. Ted says also her favorite Psalm 23. Yeah, I have that one memorized in Hebrew. That's one of the ones I memorized. It's well worth memorizing. Psalm 23 is like, besides being utterly beautiful, it's one of the nice things you can have in your kind of pocket of tools. When you're going through a hard time or you're in a scary place, it just comes out. Or at least part of it, Gam ki elech, even though I walk, right? That very famous part. So very powerful and dissuades demonic activity and all that kind of stuff. So good. Stephen says, this psalm is so beautiful. I feel like I've received a cleansing listening to it. Hallelujah. You know, I feel the Ruach too. Baruch Hashem. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, the Hebrew words. The Hebrew words of Tehillim, they are very powerful. When you read the Psalms aloud in the Hebrew, even if you do not understand what you're saying, it cleanses the room. Exactly. It cleanses the room. It really does. This is something I found in the past. I used to always do this, especially if I guest teach somewhere. So I'm not familiar with the environment. I don't know what might have been happening there. I always will say a psalm first in Hebrew first. Even if I don't tell them what it means. It's just to say it. Right? I understand what it means. That's okay. But just to say it, then I'll teach. And I believe it makes any of the wicked spirits get out of the place. It purges the place. And few psalms are as powerful as Psalm 23. That's so true. Yeah, Ted says it gives much comfort to the sick. Gary says, my dad loved Psalm 23. He paid every grandchild to memorize it. Nice. Had to pay extra when they recited it in Spanish and Indonesian. Oh! I like it. That's great. That's great. What a wise man. There is great value to learning scripture in different languages too. Different Targumatic, different translated languages. That's very nice. Good, good. Maybe you do it in Hebrew. Now, you memorize it, Gary, in Hebrew, and then when you see him in Olam Haba, hey, pay up. Hebrew, yo, Hebrew. The original. Okay, so here we are. Now, you're not going to see my hand in front of the screen because we're doing things a little bit differently. But if you look on the upper right-hand corner over there, you will see we are starting with verse 21. All right? So now let me just zoom in a little bit here. Boom. There, that's a bit closer for everybody, right? And I can move myself. Be like this for now. Okay? And we're going to do like this. We have a combination of techniques now, okay? V'hadad Shema. Now, Hadad, this is the guy, he's got a pagan god for a name, right? Remember, he's been living in Egypt. Shema. He heard. That's great, guys, working on it. Oh, Ravid says, I recited this psalm daily in the hospital when my youngest son was very sick. Powerful. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, flying again. Flying and growing. So, Hadad Shema. You guys know Shema, right? He heard. In Mitzrayim, Egypt. Okay, so he heard in Egypt. And let's do this. So, here we have our verb. Right? A verb. Okay. And it's interesting. Usually, in Tanachit, you will see the subject comes after the verb, right? So that's our usual order. Verb and then subject. When the subject comes first, this is giving some kind of... I can't think of the word. It's like making it stronger. Emphasis. So, Hadad here is emphasized. So really it's something like, now Hadad heard in Egypt. Because we would have expected Vayishma Hadad. That would be the normal order. Verb followed by subject. So whenever you reverse that order and you put the subject first, there's emphasis. Unless you're answering a question that this was about. Okay? Or if it's poetry. With poetry, all bets are off on the syntax. You can't always count on it. Haha, yay, Ivet says, OMG, this writing on the screen is awesome. Haha, yeah, hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. I got it figured out now. At least I solved the issue when we had a bandwidth issue or something. So what I'm doing now is I took some pictures ahead of time and I put them in a PowerPoint. And so that's how I'm showing it. So that's why I can't show my hand under there. But that's okay because we can point like this, right? So Felisa says, I memorized Tehillim 23 when Rabbi teaches that in 2011 with Bro Ike. Every day, every morning, I recite it. Wow, you've had it memorized for a long time, Felisa. Wow, 2000. Wow, that's 12 years ago. Nice. That's nice. I'm really glad you have that. That's excellent. Well, you've been learning with us for a long time. Very nice. Okay. Be. So the Be is in Mitzrayim. So this is a place name. Okay. Ki. So you guys know ki. Ki means because or for or because. Shachav. Now shachav, even if you don't know this word, you probably do know this word. It just kind of depending on your piety. Okay. So what I mean by that is, what do we have to say twice a day? The Shema ve'ahavta, right? And so in the ve'ahavta, it says, Uveshoch becha, uvekumecha. Uveshoch becha, that's this word. Uveshoch becha, it's just different vowels. So shachav, when laying down of cha, when you lay down, uvekumecha, and when you kum, when cha, when you get up. Okay? So shachav, even if you don't know the word, you might know it already if you say the Shema every day, twice a day. Gary says, maybe green paper on the document cam. Make it a layer over the comic book so you can use the yod. Or the yad. Yeah, I had thought about that. That's an interesting idea. I had thought about that too, if there'd be a way to do that. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. Yeah, that day I told you when I was laying down thinking of ideas, I did think about, okay, what if I just make a green PowerPoint, and then that's on my screen where I can write, and then put that as a layer on top, and then turn on. Yeah, thank you, Gary. That's nice. Yeah, I had thought about that, and then I forgot about it. So maybe the Ruach stirred you up. That'll be good, so we can have the yod there. Nice. Good. Okay. Ki for shachav. That means laid down. David, or David, we'll just say it like modern Israeli Hebrew. David, and here we have it like we expect. Look, here we have verb, and subject. See, this is the normal order, right? Right. So you have verb, shachav, followed by subject, David or David, as we expect. See, but we don't have it that way up here. Here we have verb, and the subject's actually over here. Maybe I should make it clear. Let's do this. Work. Subject, verb. See, but the normal order in Hebrew is verb, and then subject, or like this: verb, and then subject. Okay. With avotav. So what's av? You guys know av, right? Av, here's a sign for it. Av is father. And it's just a weird word. It sounds like it has a feminine ending. Okay? So avot is fathers or ancestors. It doesn't have to just be fathers. If we don't say fathers and mothers, then it's ancestors, right? So avot, ancestors of vav, of him. Right? And so we have that pronominal suffix there. Yeah, I'm really glad Gary pointed that out. I totally spaced out this thought. That's very, very good. So here's third person. Third person, that's when you see the vav on the end, it's him. It could be his, it could be dative to him, right? Usually it's his. And so that's what we have here. Or it can be an accusative also, like at the end of a word for verb. For example, shalachti, I sent. Shalachtiv, I sent him. Right? So it can be an accusative also, like object. By the way, if you don't know the grammar terms I'm throwing out, that's fine. I'm just trying to kind of pepper it, something for everybody. So whatever your level is at, you can benefit from the learning. Yeah. Don't get stressed if you don't know the terms I'm saying. It's fine. It's immersion. And Jacob, one of the Greek scholars over in the chat, in the Telegram chat, he said this is technically called directed immersion, and that it's really helpful for people to learn quickly. So, all right. Avotav, his fathers, the avot of Vav. Oh, I just realized, I think I can point also like this. Hold on, let me, Let's see. Oh, yeah, look. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! We have a pointer on the screen. Nice. I can make myself a bit smaller then. Hold on, let's be a little... There, I think that's better. Better. We'll be down here. Because now we can point on it. You can see my pointer, right? You see that green pointer? Oh, I remember, Gary, one reason I was thinking not to do the overlay is, do you remember the other issue we had when I was drawing on the screen and we had the yacht on the screen? Whenever the book would move just a little bit, the notes that I drew would be, they'd be off, right? They'd be off a bit. So we may still need to keep it this way. Yeah? Okay. Right, because the book would move and the drawing stuff is on the screen. Unless I could find a way that I could just snapshot it, yeah. Yeah, that'd be good to make the pointer larger. That's good tip. Good idea. Maybe make it like yellow or, something really like hot pink, something like that. Okay. V'chimeit Yoav. Ve is and, right? So that's one of our conjunctions there. Right? Whenever you start with Vav, this is a conjunction, and it can mean a lot of things. But, when, if, then. So it's a good idea to be, to be flexible with this guy. Yeah. And you make it what sounds right in English. Now, what's interesting about the primary meanings of and but, later on, if you guys want to learn Koine Greek, well, the Jewish dialect of Koine Greek that the apostolic writings are written in, and very similar to what we have the Septuagint written in, I kind of have this in the back of my head to teach this in the future when people are strong enough with the Hebrew, because I really insist on Hebrew first before you go to Jewish Greek, right? Hebrew first, because I think there's so many mistakes that people make in interpreting the Greek when they do Greek only. They don't realize it's a Jewish dialect. And when you know Hebrew first and you learn Koine Greek, well, it's not just Koine, the specific dialect of Jewish Koine Greek, you see the Hebrew everywhere. And one of the things that you can't help notice is in older dialects of Greek, they don't start the sentence with and. Just like I think in English it's not proper to start a sentence with a conjunction, right? With and or but. But Hebrew starts with the vav everywhere, all over the place, right? Look, even the sentence here. Look over at the verse 21 at the top, right? Oh, my arrow's gone now. Okay, fine. The arrow becomes a dot when I'm writing, so we got to be careful. So even that, it starts with a vav, and you notice this very quickly that most of the books in the apostolic writings, I think it's like from those books, 76% of the sentences start with kai or de in Greek, which is like vav. It's a vav. So you see the Hebraic influence. Even though it's Greek, it's really mimicking the Hebrew a lot of times. So, yeah. Ryovitz says the old school acetate OHB style would work. Paper clips to keep in place. Yeah, I think Gary had suggested that last time. That's also a great suggestion. I may do that sometime with the big Korn Tanakh, right? We'll see. But for now, I think this is good because the colors are bright and all that stuff. Our first Hebrew class, when I was at TI, we had that acetate on an overhead projector, right? We'd check out a room, and then at lunch on Wednesdays, we used to meet in there. And then I would write out, sometimes I would photocopy on there stuff from a textbook. And then we'd write out the answers together, write down on there, and it shows up on the screen. So, yeah, technology has come a long way. All right. So, and makes sense here. And let's do this. Oh, laser pointer. Hello. Chi, that's for, like F-O-R, for, or because, or that. So, and chi, that. Now, why is it chi? It should be ki, right? But if you remember, we have our begad kefat letters, right? And we talked about this before. There are certain letters in Hebrew that they default to having a dagesh in them. And there's a mnemonic. Sorry, it's cursive. Begad ke fat. It's a mnemonic, right? Begad ke fat. And so all of these letters, they take a dagesh automatically if there's not a vowel sound just in front of them, the begad kefat letters. And so you might have learned the word ki as ki, like this. But because we have a vav over here, we got this vav with a vocal schwa, that's the guy in the bottom. So that's like a vowel sound. It's a it's a little Or if you're a Yemenite Jew, it's a ah. For everybody else, it's a just a slight little So because that's right in front of it, with that little sound here, that makes the dagesh disappear. Okay? The begad kefat letters, all of them, if they have what's called a weak dagesh in them, and you put a vowel sound in front of it, it disappears. So if you see one of these letters and they have the dot inside, and there's a vowel sound right in front of them, then you know it must be a strong dagesh. It's saying there's two of them. That one doesn't disappear just from sounds. He's strong. He's chazak. Nobody's kicking him out. Vicky says schwa is vocal, thus considered vowel at the beginning. Rob, yes, exactly. You probably wrote that before I. Okay, good. All right. Vechi, and that, mate. Mate was one that I used to always, this is very easy to remember if you live in the States. And do they still have those Met life insurance commercials? They used to have these commercials, and sometimes you see them on the road. You're driving along. There's a big billboard. It's got Snoopy, from the Peanuts, and it says, "Get met, it pays." So it's life insurance, right? And when does life insurance pay? When somebody dies, right? That's when it pays, when you die, right? So it's kind of funny because in Hebrew, met, well, mate, really, but sometimes you see it as met also, where right here, this guy, mate, or met, just say met, to make it sound like the English word. When you met, the life insurance pays. So get met, get dead, it pays, right? So it's funny if you know Hebrew and you see this, one of these ads. So it's a nice mnemonic. Julie says a good way to help with the explanation, Vicky. Thank you. Yep, good. Good. Nice. Yeah, keep the dialogue going. I love when you guys participate. All right. Who died? Yoav. See, so look here. So we have the expected order again, right? Here we have it. Verb and subject. That's the normal Hebrew word order. Mate, died. Who died? Yoav. Yoav died. So there's the subject, right? Okay. And actually the subject's a bit longer. It's going to tell us who Yoav is. Looks a bit better here, Gary. I'm seeing 25 likes. Yeah. But I know YouTube's been weird lately, right? Like different numbers, different pages. Very often, some people have been getting like 22,000. They've seen 22,000 likes, right? Like Ryaveth was sharing with me from over in the UK. And also Vicky saw that here too, right? Like 7,000 likes while we're live one time. Like maybe it's prophetic. I hope it's prophetic. Not the 7 likes. We reject that one as false prophecy. A false chizayon. So who is Yoav? Sar. And you remember Sar, it's kind of a loaded word. It literally means prince, right? This is where the Russian word Tsar comes from. The king of Russia, the Tsar. Or in English that comes to us as Tsar. Right? I don't know why we say it that way, C-Z-A-R. So that's all from Sar, from Hebrew Sar. So in Hebrew it's a prince. In Russian it's like a king, right? But Sar can also have a meaning of like a captain, or in this case, the general of Ha-Tzava, or commander maybe. Commander's probably better, because you got many generals, but he's on top, right? The commander of the army. The army. Tzava can mean army, or it can be like the heavenly host. You look up at the sky, because presumably that's the army of Hashem. That's the angels or his army. Yeah. Ryavith says, sadly, no 17K likes for today. That's all right. It's all right. No problem. Well, I haven't insulted the false prophet from the religion of peace yet today, so maybe I get insulting and we can see some more madness with the numbers. Hatzava, the army. Vayomer, so Yomer, Amar, to say, and then when there's the Yod in front, that means he, right? So he, let me go annotate it. Well, since we have the stuff, let's use it. Okay. So the Yod here, at the beginning of the verb, that means third person, right? So that's going to be like he or they. Not the best color selection. Vayomer. So Yomer is he is saying, or he will say, and then the Vav changes the aspect. Vayomer, and he said. And you'll see this all the time in the Greek. Kai peson, and he said. Brendan says once, twice, 3 times a minyan. Yes, Ken Yiratzon. Yeah, please click the like, guys. Show me some love. Vayomer hu. Now here, look, here we have it again. We have that pattern that we are expecting. Verb followed by subject. Okay, interesting. It's giving me a bit of a hard time, but that's fine. So here's our verb. And here's our subject. See? As you would expect. If it said, like up above, Vehadar Shema, subject before the verb, that's emphasis. Then Hadar heard. Hadar heard about it. There's some kind of emphasis there. Oh, maybe don't refresh. If you refresh, it might put you behind in the stream. You might have to wait for it to buffer or something, depending on your internet. Yeah. Let me check. You guys got me curious. Let me look over here. Okay. For me, it's showing our concurrent drop to 28 right now. But excellent connection, Baruch Hashem. Thank you for all of you prayer warriors praying for these lessons, that we don't have technology issues and such. Okay. El. So Vayomer Hadar. So then Hadar said El unto Paro. And you guys remember that's an Egyptian word, right? The big house, which means this guy here. The guy who, I think they reused this picture of him pointing and angry. They seem so friendly when you read the Hebrew text. They sound like they're really good friends. But I think the artist reused this picture from earlier in the book when Pharaoh was arguing with Moshe and Aharon. So I just reuse it there. Copy, paste. Okay. So, V'Hadad. Sorry, I've been saying Hadar. Hadad. Dad looked kind of like a race to me. Sorry. V'Hadad Shema b'Mitzrayim. Then Hadad heard in Egypt, Ki shachav David im avotav, that David slept with his fathers or ancestors. V'chi, and that mate Yoav, Sar Hatzava, and that Yoav, the commander of the army, had mate, he had died. Vayomer Hadad, so Hadad said El unto Paro. Right, here we hear, so this is Hadad presumably. What's he say? Shalacheni ve'elech el artzi. This is nice. Yeah, Hadad, not Hadar. Was I saying Hadar the whole time? Sorry. I think I was saying Hadar the whole time. Hadad. Maybe it was Hashem, because you know this guy's name is the name of another god. Hadad is one of the old Eastern gods. So maybe that's why I was saying Hadar. Sorry, Jeff. That happened to me yesterday, too. There was one word I read a certain way. All right. El Paro. Shalacheni. So look at this. So shalach is to send. And you see the dagesh, the dot in the lamed? If you're just listening to the podcast, trust us, there's double lamed there. This is the PL, the intensive form of the verb, which usually makes it stronger. So shavar is break, shiber, to utterly smash to pieces. Okay, that's like the nice example word. So shaleach means to send out, right? Shalach is send. Shaleach with two lameds is send out. It can also mean to divorce, right? Sending the woman out of the house, divorcing the woman, right? Like there's a little bit of a question whether Moshe divorced his first wife when he got to Egypt, because it uses this verb, the shileach, that he did that to her, right? So the rabbis actually have a mochlechet about it. They're like, there's a bit of an argument. Did he divorce her? Did he just send her back? The Midrash says that Aaron said, "Who are these?" And Moshe says, "This is my wife. These are my kids." And Aaron says, "We're trying to get out, and you're bringing more in." So like that's why he sent her away, right? So there's some ambiguity in the verb there. Hoosick Riverbend says it's a Honda dealer in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Massachusetts? Yeah, I'm laughing. All right. Pei says, this is my first time to understand every word of the verse. Woo! Don't jinx it. Just kidding. That's great, Pei. Baruch Hashem. Mazel tov. That's really wonderful news. Glad to hear it. So, shaleach, send out, ni. Send me out, ni. Right? And maybe I should take advantage of our tool and colorize. Why not? Maybe I'll settle on a standard of colors in the future. So the ni at the end is me. Right? So whenever you see that at the end of the verb, it's me. Me. And if you want, if you haven't learned these, you can check out our, here on this channel on the playlist, Language Snippets. There's a video, pronominal suffixes. I think it's alternate pronominal suffixes, but I cover the basic ones as well. And so you can learn those if you like, because they show up all the time on verbs and on nouns. Sorry, I keep coughing. My mute button isn't responsive enough on the mic, so I can't just mute it like I used to be able to. Okay. Send out me. The and elech. So again, this is halach. Halach, to walk, or alternatively the sign, to walk or to go. The aleph at the beginning of the word, this is your indicator that reminds you of another word, right? So we have this aleph here, okay? And this should remind you of the word ani. Ani or anochi. They both start with aleph, right? This aleph, so that means I. So elech, when you see the aleph at the front of a verb, and it's not part of the verb, then it's I will go. The elech, and I will go. Oh, 9. Sorry. I will go el unto artsi. Artsi. Yeah, I shouldn't have put this here. I just realized that could be confusing to you. Sometimes in modern Hebrew, they like to embed the yod or the vav. It can be like inside of the noon. It's kind of cool. So you have like, so here's your noon in script. And if you have a yod, you can just put it there, like inside. Or you can put your vav. Your vav can go there inside. Like, new. Anyway. Hey, mute button worked. Okay. So this is the word eretz. Eretz, right? And eretz is one of those funny words I told you about. Starts with an S sound there, right? We have eretz, we have melech. Like, so eretz is land or world. Melech is king. Sefer is scroll or book. So these words are called segolets. If you ever want to look that up, you can. You don't have to know this. You don't have to remember this even. Right? That's fine. But segolets. Segolets are words that are following this pattern. And so when I want to put a suffix on it, it's going to change to ah. So for example, melech is king, but my king is not melechi, it's malki. Malki. And a way you can remember that is Malki Tzedek, right? The priest to whom Avraham Avinu tithed. He gave his masa. Okay? So Malki, just like Malki, we have no, come back. Artsi. That's first person. So my eretz. Everybody good? Hey, beautiful, nice job, admins. The admins posted the stuff up. That's okay. What you had also, Brenda, was good. That's fine. But okay, thank you, Ted, for the pronominal suffixes link. Good. You guys are on fire tonight. Don't click it now, guys. If you click it now, you'll leave our live stream. Okay. All right. I'm going to change to what Pharaoh's saying in just a second. And maybe we'll go an hour tonight because we messed around with the stuff. Just let's see. Up to you guys. I don't want to keep you if you don't want to stay, though. But I notice at the end is usually when people, look, we got 34 now. Come on, we hit 45 last week on 2 days. What's going on? Wow, it wouldn't mute at all. I pressed it 3 times. All right, going to go to the right side now, okay? Okay, so now you can see angry Pharaoh. In verse 22, it says, Vayomer lo far. Oh, okay, so what's happening here? Like, I thought you told me it's verb and then subject. That's true. It is verb and then subject. But what happens is the normal order is verb, and of course we're reading this way, right? And then subject, but very often the indirect object jumps in there because these are very small words in Hebrew, so they like to jump in. They like to just squeeze in, like li, lecha, lo, right? To me, to you, to him. And that's what's happening here. So here we have our... No. Sorry. Here we have our verb. And here we have our subject, the thing that's doing the verb. And then here we have our indirect object. Julie says, so the ending of a word that has a nun, yod, means me, but ending with just a yod is my? Yeah. Because what happens is when the yod wants to attach to the verb, the nun really isn't part of it. The nun is what we call a connecting letter, right? It just makes it easier to say, right? That's why the nun is coming in there. Yeah. And then if you have a subject, so it's really yod. Yod is your guy. Yod is the one you need. You don't have to memorize the ni. Just remember the yod. The yod. When you see the yod, it's something about me. It's mine or to me, right? Does that help? Maybe that makes it a bit easier. So it's only one thing you're looking out for. You're looking for the yod. If there's an extra nun in there, whatever, who cares? The nun's there, the nun's not there, whatever. Okay? Yeah. But yeah, that's a good observation, Julie. Okay? I keep looking over here because I want to make sure the arrow is in the right place so you can see it. Well, maybe I'll just... It's not cooperating so greatly, so maybe I'll just do my giant pointy thingy now. Keep doing that. There we go. All right. So Vayomer lo paro, of Pharaoh. Notice it's Pharaoh and not Paro because there's a vowel sound close to the pei, and the pei is a big Kafat letter, so it disappeared. Okay. Kima ata haser imi. See, they're making him look angry, but listen to what he's saying. Ki. For ma. Ma means what? Can I put it down here? Yeah. There we go. Now we got it. What? Ata, you. Haser. Chaser. This we had in the Psalm tonight, 23. Right? Adonai ro'i lo echsar. The aleph is for I will not chaser. I will not lack. So he's saying, what? Ata, you. Chaser, lack, or lacking rather. It's kind of funny. His Hebrew is a bit messed up. So Pharaoh might actually be speaking to his friend in Hebrew, right? Like caveman Hebrew. You know, friends sometimes learn. I don't know if you guys know this, but you experience it, especially in Europe and stuff. You might have a friend from another country, and you kind of learn each other's language, or you say something in your friend's language to be funny or something like that, right? So to me, it sounds like Pharaoh really is speaking Hebrew here. I could be wrong. Ata chaser, what are, literally you, a lacking one, is really what it's saying. A lacking one, with me. What are you lacking with me? Vehinnecha, this is hine, like behold. And behold, cha, you, mevakesh, bikesh is to search for, to look for. You are looking for lalechet. So lalechet is a little bit hard to recognize. This is from halach. What happened? It's from halach. I'm trying to make myself smaller. I don't like that it doesn't want to cooperate. Let me do it. Blocking the text now. Very strange. When I move my mouse pointer to try to select the camera, it keeps going under the camera. So there we go. Yay. Okay. Vehine, and behold, chayu, mevakesh, you are searching for or intending, lalechet, to halach, to go, el, unto artzecha. Again, eretz, it's like melech, malkecha is your king, right? Artzecha is the land of cha, of you, your land. Yeah, he's not angry. His feelings are hurt. It's his best buddy. How you guys doing? Julie says, okay, easy peasy. Okay, great. It's good you guys make those observations like Julie did, because then I can maybe think of a way to filter it a bit better so that there's like one rule instead of 2 or 3, right? It's better to make it one pattern that people are recognizing, right? It makes it easier. Because the beauty is we're not writing biblical Hebrew, so you don't have to know all the grammar and all the little nuances. It's one way. For now, it's one way. That's the priority, is one way. Later, maybe you want to write music in biblical Hebrew or translate modern worship songs into biblical Hebrew. Okay, then it's harder. You're going into Hebrew. But just coming out of Hebrew, this uses what's called your passive memory. To have vocabulary words, to have things in your passive memory is easier than to have them in your active memory, where you have to produce something in the target language. You understand? So coming into your native language, or a language that you're very strong with, from a foreign language is easier. And that's really our goal here, is to get to where you're seeing the stuff. Like Pei said, he understood everything on the page, everything in the verse today, so that's great. That's the goal. Whereas if I'd asked him, okay, if I told him in English, write this in Hebrew, you're going to find it more difficult. So don't let it overwhelm you if people know you're studying Hebrew and they ask you, how do you say this? And you're like, oh, I knew that word. Why can't I remember it? It's in your passive memory, that's all. But when you see it, you will recognize it when it's in your passive. And that's what we care about. The other stuff is icing on the cake, all right? So don't let it stress you, don't let it bother you. It's natural. With any kind of language learning, it's natural. First, passive, and then later active, right? So it's much easier to get where you're watching TV and you're understanding what they're saying in another language than someone's on the street and you're going to say that same thing to them, right? Ryavith says, no wonder he's angry. He's arrogantly saying, what have you lacked here? Why do you want to go to your own country for? Yeah, exactly. He's offended like he's not good enough for him anymore. Exactly. Jeannie says, sorry to interrupt. What are you reading, Rabbi? This is 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 21 through 25. We're on, right? And the verse numbers are, you can see them, they're kind of tiny in red. That'll give you the verse numbers there. Okay? I can't show you the book right now because these are pictures I took of the book so that it would be stable when I drew my notes on it. All right? So I don't have the normal document camera there. But if you check the description down below, I have a link to the publisher of this book. No royalties or anything, just you should buy it from them if you like it. All right. Maybe we won't do the last 2 because it's 57 minutes in. Yeah, and that's quite a lot of stuff. Okay, maybe we'll stop with verse 23 tonight because we kind of drilled down in a lot of detail. So I think that's okay. Let's stop here tonight. Here with verse 22. Let me just make sure that's the end of 22. It is the end. Hold on. Where's 23 then? Wait. That's 22. 23 is down here. Okay. Oh, so does 22 continue? Hold on, let me look. See, that's weird. That's fine. Anyway. We'll stop here. Maybe I made a mistake with my pictures or something. But I don't want to keep you guys longer since we're at 57 minutes. Hey, nice. Tet put the link over here. So you can see in the chat, there's the link for where you can buy this book if you want to buy it from the publisher. Okay. Yeah. And I'll just show it to you real quick. So here we've got a couple here. Right? This is the one we're using now. Although it's showing in mirror image. That's weird. What happened there? I will change. Let's change over here. This one. Illustrated 1 Kings in Hebrew. Right? It's got Eliyahu on the front and the fire's coming down. Whoa. Okay, that's Glossa House is the publisher. And here's the one we use for Exodus. Illustrated Exodus in Hebrew. And when we finish with Exodus, we're probably going to get the Genesis one and do that. It seems a lot of people want to do Genesis. Right? They've also got Joshua and some other stuff. Kind of neat. So, yeah. Very, very nice idea to do it in graphic novel form, I think. Okay, Ryver says Julie says, I love that you're writing on the screen to block out the parts of the words. It helps me tremendously. Great. Thank you for that feedback. I'm so glad to hear that it's worth the kind of struggle to get that working, yeah? Takes some extra work, too, to get all the pictures and to line them up in PowerPoint and stuff. Julie says they have a vocabulary book, too. It's great. Oh, yes. By Their Names or something like that, if you remember the title. Yeah, it's a picture vocabulary book, right? That is nice. Yeah, I got that for sharing with kids. Yeah, it's a picture. It's a picture vocabulary book. You can flip through, and it organizes by like things and people and occupations, and it's biblical Hebrew. It's not like those modern Hebrew ones you get. So, uh, yeah, I don't see it on the shelf. Oh wait, hold on. Nope. I've shown it before. Maybe I'll try to show that again. Yeah, sketches according to their kinds. Yeah, that's what it was. According to their kinds. Very good. But it is paperback, so keep it in mind when you're looking at it. The price. Yeah, I recommend you put some kind of protection on it. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I will see you tomorrow for Psalms. All right, bring a friend. Let's try to hit our 40s turnout again if we can. All right, shalom, shalom. You guys have a great Chanukah, Sameach, and remember to pray for our troops. Yeah, always please keep praying for our troops. Sadly, I won't share the sad news. It's fine. There was some